Okay, that'll do that. Use. Mute. Okay, should we do some metta?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to change your name here.
Oh.
Okay.
Right. May all beings be happy and secure.
May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will,
That's better.
Sorry, everyone. We don't know what happened during the chanting there, but let me see if I can get us corrected here. That was quite strange. Should... Okay. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be.
So we're going to continue with this talk. We started yesterday of the 7 factors of enlightenment, and we had already investigated mindfulness, investigation, energy, and rapture. So now we can go and have some information on the calm, concentration, and equanimity. So calm or tranquility is used to focus on the aggregates, feelings, perceptions, volitional formations, and the last one is consciousness. Now, calm is compared to the image of a hiker, and he's getting a little weary, so he sits under a tree and he has some shade. He's relaxing. And also, there are times when we can feel the benefit of calmness in our minds and body. And there's instances, we have to admit, there's times when it's difficult to calm down due to circumstances, but we can have that image. One of the Dhammapada verses is when you're not calm, it's as if a fish is taken out of water and it's flipping and quivering on the ground. And so by using systematic attention, mindfulness, one can quiet the mind. And when certain circumstances are difficult, mindfulness can bring them back to calmness. So we have the practice of mindfulness on a cushion, of course, and we develop that. And in light of the fact that we can feel very calm there, and it helps us solidify our thinking and slow it down. So earlier I had talked yesterday about the vicissitudes, and they are happiness and sadness, gain and loss, fame and defame, and praise and blame. Now, there's an interesting story of this farmer that was living in Eastern Europe with his family, and he had a son, and he was just a poor farmer. He had a horse and would plow the fields and make his way through life with the family. But the horse ran off, and he said, well, such is life. He has to do the plowing and gardening himself. But then the horse came back, and it came back with another horse. So now he had 2 horses. And so he says, well, such is life. And then after that, the son was riding one of the horses, and he fell off and he broke his leg. And he was cared for, but he had a limp. And also, the father was taking it in stride. But then war broke out in Eastern Europe, and the son couldn't be drafted because he limped. And so the farmer said, such is life. So it's important to maintain that sense of calmness, balance, and poise. And this builds up our strength of character. Earlier, I had spoken about this incident where at night I was driving on 12 Mile Road in Detroit, Michigan. And it was at night, and I had a flat tire, and I was having difficulty having parked right in the middle lane, the turning lane. And these cars going past me with their lights, and I was hoping not to get sideswiped. And then this man showed up and he helped me, and between the two of us, we were managing to get the tire back on the car, or another tire, and I was out of there. But to have that sense that you can develop and anticipate instances like that, and then have the calmness to come to the forefront. Also, we learn to take criticism better. Um, that draws from these aspects and properties of mindfulness and the meditation. Just a couple of days ago, Wednesday actually, we have mutual cleaning, and I had been cleaning the meditation hall, and then just yesterday, two senior monks got a little disappointed in me. In fact, they were upset. I had left one of the book stands off to the side, and something else like a sitting mat. And so I took care of it real well. But at first I felt disappointed because I mean these are things that can be easily remedied. But I just took it in stride, no big deal. And to have grace under certain circumstances, and a sense of collectedness, and not getting too strung out, as they say. This carries over to our meditations with perhaps sounds. There was an instance where some years ago I was meditating with a group in Michigan. We had a nice circular stone meditation shelter house, and it had a fireplace. And this one time, is this time of year actually, and we had all set up our 7 of us in the small room for a dining room, and I was next to the fireplace. No fire in it, but we were there. We were only there for an hour or so, and the wind was alternating and breezy. So every time, and the fireplace had a glass front on it, and so every time the wind changed or wound itself up, it would rattle this glass, and so it was disturbing, and I was the closest one to it. But I was able to understand that if it's in the background and it comes to the forefront, well, then just rest with it if it's in the forefront of your mind. And eventually I could kind of like diminish it, sort of. I mean, the sound didn't diminish, but it was as if I was able to diminish it as a distraction. And we can learn to live with these things. That's the aspect of bringing meditation into our daily lives. So these instances that happen, although they can be disturbing, but you can look back on them and say, well, okay, under these circumstances this happened and I was able to adjust to it. And that's a quality that you can build on. Now, the next one is concentration. And that's the intensified steadiness of the mind. And it's a step up from calmness, obviously. And its value is that it helps one to remain focused on a single object. Commonly, we know that the breath is good, and it's like a moving target. It can draws you in, and you can meditate on it. But if you decide to work with the jhanas, that has the potential to lead to enlightenment. But to set out on that, you have to make sure that you're not distracted by the hindrances. We went over this a little while ago, but there are sense desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and plus doubt. And any of these distractions will stop you in your tracks if you want to go on to this meditation object of a jhana. So that's why it's vital, whether you take jhana as a subject or not, to work with the hindrances, work with one of the ones that is particularly irksome for you. Because you can't have a shadow of a hindrance to make any progress in the jhana. Now, this one Dhammapada verse is particularly good. Tanhaya jayati soko, tanhaya jayati bayam, tanhaya vipamutasa, nati soko kuko param. From craving springs grief, from craving springs fear. One who is free from craving, there is no grief whence fear. And so, to work with desire, also, particularly at meals, where it comes to the forefront, and work with it in discussions with people. Maybe at work, you suggest something that can be done, and it could be picked up, but it wasn't, and you find some difficulty because you were really interested in going forward with this one idea you had. So it just takes a level-headed mind to work through difficulties, and it enables you to be a little more persuasive in a good way. And our aspect of not getting upset and have resistance, the metta practice is obviously the best thing for that. We carry that over through all our aspects of life. The disciple Ananda once asked a question of the Buddha. He said, well, he started with a statement, actually. He said to the Buddha that the metta practice is one half of the whole practice. And the Buddha said, no, Ananda. Metta practice is the whole of the practice. Now also, we have our two aspects of restlessness and sleepiness. And I touched on that earlier, that you can, particularly during meditation, you can think of brightness. You can be a little bit more purposeful with your breathing, maybe stronger breaths. Make sure you're comfortable. Particularly to keep this back straight. You can think of this as if you had a string at the very top of your head and it was pulling you a little bit upwards. Then your head is up higher, it's more horizontal. And then when you consider, like if you're, in a chair you can do this, but also with cross-legged, if you're just kind of on purpose, you let your stomach, your abdomen come forward, like almost embarrassingly so. But when it's forward like that, and then you just back out of it a little bit. So that's a good lineup with your vertebrae. It would be like in alignment with that string pulling your head a little bit. And that helps you not falling asleep. And restlessness, you can do a walking meditation. And also just when you're restless and you're sitting, you can have that aspect, like I mentioned before, to look at more seriously at it, rather than just having it on the outskirts of your consciousness always bugging you, but to be more decisive on how to deliberately work with restlessness. And doubt, that's a difficult one. If you have that, it's like stealing your attention. Uh, you're just kind of in a quandary, or it's disappointing, and to really see through it and uh, take actions. But well, like when I was describing you're at work, have a strategy. If one way doesn't work, then do something else. Experiment, and in your practice, uh, that could slow you down. You might, if your habit is to do meditation every night, and you have doubts about its efficacy, catch it, nip it in the bud, go back to your practice. Once you practice consecutively, like every night or every other night, you're doing really well. And you'll do it for some amount of time, and then it'll come up. You say, "Oh, this one night, I don't think I'll do it." And you say, "No, no." After 3, 4 minutes, you say, "No, this isn't right. This isn't right. I have to go back and practice and meditate." It's become a part of you, which is a wonderful thing. And that'll help clear your doubt about things right there. You won't have any doubt about continuing with your meditation. Now, equanimity is the next one, and it's the result of calm and concentration. And that's the aspect of truly have the good and give up longing for things. It's a good way to relax, but still be vitally involved and have things metered out in your mind. And this one particular Dhammapada verse is that truly the good give up longing for everything. The good prattle not with thoughts of craving. Touched by happiness or by pain, the wise show neither elation nor depression. And that's the interesting thing about it, because we want to be happy, but then you have to be aware that there's a duality there. With happiness, there's sadness. But if you can gingerly work with the aspect of happiness in the way of, in a more factual way or a livable way, is equanimity, which will be good, and you're neither swayed one way or the other, where the wind blows one time or something else affects you with you're too cold. These aspects of identifying things quickly in the mind, not let them drag out and just be like secondary, irksome things. They bring things to the forefront and deal with them honestly. And in that way, you maintain equanimity. You won't feel bad about it. You'll feel bad in instances where you go from one circumstance to another in a nice flow of contact and involvement with. And in that way, you'll further your practice, and with equanimity, that's on the threshold of enlightenment. And eventually, all of us hope to become enlightenment with the Buddha's teachings as our guide. So I'll leave you with these words, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. A dumb question is only one that hasn't been asked.
Okay, so should we go for the closing
Okay.
closing chanting?
No.
Okay.
By means of this meritorious deed, May I never join with the foolish.
May I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome.
And thanks to all of you for joining us tonight.